So let's say you're paying for your application, you're paying for your children's adjustment of status, for instance, or your spouse's adjustment of status. They want you to print a fresh form or fresh G1450 credit card authorization form for each application. That's how they want you to do it. So you can't fill out one for all 3 applications if you're sending 3 applications in. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ozzy. If this is your very first time here, you're welcome. On this channel, we talk about how to get a US green card through a merit-based pathway, right? Through a merit-based pathway called EB-2 NIW, right? And that means employment-based, second preference, national interest waiver, guys. That's what it means. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and do so right now if you want to be kept abreast of all of our updates. And if you'd like to get a notification every time we upload a new video, please click on the bell sign. All right, so today I'm going to give you information on how to pay for your I-140, right? If you're in the US, if you're outside the US, this information is for you. I get a lot of questions about this all the time, and I think it's very important that we talk about different ways that USCIS has made possible for you to pay for your form I-140. So if you're within the US, there's some options that USCIS has provided. The very first is that you can pay using cashier's check, you can pay using a personal check, or you can pay using money order. If you're gonna pay using a personal check, you wanna make that out to the US Department of Homeland Security. That's who that check needs to be addressed to. You can also pay with credit card using, if you have a US based or a US issued credit card, you can pay using the form G1450. And I'm going to put all of that information in the description portion of this video. So you can pay using the form G150 if you want to pay by credit card, okay? So that's available if you are within the US. Now, there are also options where, in some instances, you can pay with your debit card. You can also pay with your checking account. So that's available if you are in the US. Now, if you're outside the US, your options are maybe a little bit limited, especially if you don't have family in the US. So again, if you're outside the US and you want to pay for your form I-140, for instance, the very first option I would say is, do you have family and friends in the US? If you do, then they can pay with any of the options we already mentioned, right? They can pay with a cashier's check, money order, personal check, made out to the US Department of Homeland Security. They can also pay with a credit card. If they get the form G1450, they can pay with that as well. Now, USCIS has also made other options available. So let's say you get a Discover gift card, right? Or you get a prepaid card. You can load on that card the specific amount that needs to be paid for the form and then print out G150 and fill that in. And you can send that as well. The most important thing is, regardless of the type of method that you're using to pay for your petition, the most important thing is that you have the funds available to pay for that. If your funds are not available, your application is going to be returned to you. You're going to be requested to send them in again with a new G1450 form. And so you want to make sure that regardless of how you're turning your application in, that you have sufficient funds to cover the cost of that application. All right, so that's one of the things that you need to consider if you're paying for your form I-140 outside the US, or if you're paying from within the US. You can use your credit cards. If you're going to use your credit cards, of course, download the form G1450 and fill that out. If you're going to pay by check, make that out to the US Department of Homeland Security. You can also generate a money order, a cashier's check, and that will do as well. You can load prepaid cards like gift cards like the Discover gift card. That is also accepted as well. All right, so I hope this information was really helpful to you. If you guys have actually done this from outside the US, you have some experience. People ask about this all the time. This is one of our most asked questions. And so I know that people in the comment section are going to really benefit from your experience. So if you've done this in the past and you have a separate way that you did it that worked for you, please go ahead and share that method as well. Now, there are things that USCIS wants you to note, right? There are things they don't want you to do, and I want to mention 3 of these things that they don't want you to do. So one of the things that they don't want you to do is using one form G-1450, which is the authorization for credit card payments, to pay for multiple applications. They don't want that. So let's say you're paying for your application, you're paying for your children's adjustment of status, for instance, or your spouse's adjustment of status. They want you to print a fresh form or a fresh G-1450 credit card authorization form for each application. That's how they want you to do it. So you can't fill out one for all 3 applications if you're sending 3 applications in. Another thing that they don't want you to do, they don't want you to actually do a combination of check payment plus credit card payment. They don't want that. They don't want that combination. So if you're going to pay with check, pay with check. If you're going to pay with credit card, please pay with credit card. They don't want you to combine a check for part payment and then download the G-1450 to pay for the rest. They don't like that combination. So the final thing that they've mentioned on their website that they don't want you to do is they don't want you to do a combination of money order, credit cards, and personal check, right? So I know life is tough, things are difficult. Sometimes you don't have those funds in one account, but they also don't want you to do that, okay? So it's better that you put all the funds on a credit card, or it's better that you put all the cost on a credit card, or if you have cash, you put it all on a check, but they don't want you to combine like money order, check. Let's say you have $700 payment to make. They don't want you to put $200 on a credit card, $100 on a check, and then generate a cashless check for the remaining $400. They don't want that. So these are the 3 scenarios that they have created where they don't want you to do things like that. But you can go ahead and print out multiple G-1450, even if it's the same information on each form. They want you to just do that if you have multiple applications, right? They also say that you can pay with 2 separate credit cards if you want to. In that case, you would have to print out 2 form G-1450s and fill out the information on each card, or on each form. You have to specify how much they should take from that credit card. So let's say, for instance, you had to pay a $700 fee, but you don't have a credit card that can carry $700. What you can do is you can pay with 2 separate credit cards, but you have to print out 2 separate form G-1450s, right? So when you print out the form, they want you to go ahead and indicate on each form how much should be taken from that credit card. And in that way, you can pay with 2 credit cards. Now, what if you have a friend in the US that wants to help you pay for this? Simple. All you have to do is download that form G-1450, send that form to your friend, let that person fill out their information on that form and sign that form and send that form to you. You can then include that form on your petition or in your application package, and of course send that in as well. So these are some of the ways that you can pay for your application. Now, if you guys have done it and you have other ways that have worked for you, by all means, please share the information so that other people can learn as well. Thank you so much for watching this. If you really enjoyed what we talked about, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family who may have similar questions. All right. So until I see you on the next one, have a good one. Bye-bye.